There, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another couch video. Delivering romantic intoxication makes a man select. And this is very important to understand. That's the difference. As I said in a previous podcast, as I've said several times, the whole select non-select thing is a sexual hierarchy. That's why I said any conversation about select and non-select that does not include sex and making a woman holler is not a legitimate conversation. It's not a legitimate conversation. And for some guys who like, well, how come we just making them holler? Oh, we got our own select and non-select too. I just don't talk about this much. Let's just be real. We the same fucking way. But this the men's channel. I'm telling y'all how to deliver that thing because like you got some dudes talking about they want that dime and stuff. Okay, you gonna make a holler? You gonna deliver that romantic intoxication? Now somebody would say, well, what is that? Understand something. When women have that good sex, they got those feel goods. They got those hormones going. They got that oxytocin going. You know, they got all that going. They. You ever see a woman, she got that good, she be glowing and stuff. Like you see a woman glowing, I straight up ask a woman, I'll be like, okay, you either pregnant or you got a new man. And every single time I do that, they'll be like, how'd you know I got a new man? Girl, you glowing. You ever see a woman, she be all mean and stuff to everybody and, you know, hard to get along with. But then all of a sudden she start acting goofy, smiling, and you be like, yeah, somebody gave her the hot beef injection. Oh, she under that thing. I mean, it's like a drug to them. Y'all know what I like to say. Instead of tapping her arms, she tapping those thighs. She want that hit and everything. That's what women are really looking for. They want that intoxication. Like some dudes be trying to get at a woman, trying to use that rationality and stuff. They don't do it. But you make that vagina tingle. You make that vagina tingle and, you know, you turn her on sexually. And then when you actually get in there, you make her holler. You give her those 15 orgasms and stuff. Oh, they get hooked. They get hooked. When I talk about Mr. Goodbar like a drug dealer. That's why I'm going to tell you what. And I probably need to do a video on this in the future. When women get with that one Mr. Goodbar, and he really turns them out and everything, what'll happen is, and here's the pattern. Okay, he turns on, he brings her that intoxication. It's like alcohol. It really is like that drug. She give her those good feelings, got that oxytocin like flowing and some other hormones flowing, all of that. All right, and then he tearing it up. And then since he got other women, eventually he gets rid of her. See, that's one thing about the Mr. Goodbar type. He deals with women on his own terms. And when he gets tired of her, he dismisses her like she's the maid. So he got control. I want y'all to think about what I just said. And how he controlling her. Oh, he giving her that good dick. So usually what'll happen is, okay, he kick it to the curb, he get rid of her. She'll talk trash about men. She might even do some YouTube videos talking trash about men. And then she might deal with, some regular guy. He ain't bringing the intoxication, but he all right. He won't spend money. He'll do that nice stuff. And then, but she ain't gonna treat him the best she could treat him. See, that's one thing. Other thing about the select and non-select. Women still date and even marry non-select men, but they ain't a priority. And and she put him on a tight thing. Like Mr. Goodbar could be an hour late for a date, and she's still like, yeah. Or the masked man could be an hour late, and she's like, yeah. But let a nice guy be an hour late. Oh no, let him be 2 minutes late. She ready to kick him to the curb for any little thing. But he's not delivering the intoxication, the drug. She's not under the influence. So like I said, she gets kicked to the curb by one guy, one Mr. Goodbar. She complains about men, but all of a sudden she's still dealing with a bunch of other Goodbar. She gets caught up again. You get some women out there, especially if a Mr. Goodbar was an imprint, they addicted to him. And they stay addicted. Even if they marry like a non-select nice guy or a regular guy or something like that, oh, he needs to double back home. Might be a my bad situation. Cause or she ready to kick him to the curb for the slightest thing. That's because when women do deal with non-select men and they forced to, they are extremely demanding. They are extremely demanding. And she'll jump on him for the littlest thing and then let Mr. Goodbar get away with murder. Like he could abuse him or something, and they still stick around for a long time because they're addicted. Now I talked about the Mr. Goodbar. Now the masked man, he can't bring it to the same way. He still got that drug, but it's a cut version. He got cut his a little bit, so he got scheme a little bit more. He got to work a little bit harder, but he's still delivering just enough. And plus, since he got, if for him to be, he got some sex appeal, but then he got that money and status. Because like I said in the previous video, money and status alone won't do it. But if you got some sex appeal, you got the looks and physique, or enough looks and enough physique, and then, the money and status. Oh, yeah, they give you a chance. It's a little bit slower. They be like, let me try this. Yeah, just enough, right? Just enough. But then they gotta stay ahead of her romantic cravings. And plus, they have the ability. They'll say, hey, let's go to this place. Let's do this. He can surprise and everything, but he still got to be dominant. He gives her just enough. She don't get ass hooked on him. And also, if he does still have it, that's kind of like what people mistakenly call beta bucks. But it's more like he's still up there. He's still up there, but they'll deal with him. He look good enough. They had a baby and everything. But the thing about the masked man, he got to stay on top of shit. Because he got to keep that mask up. He got to keep everything he doing, he got to keep it up. That's really where the mask is. Because then if the cracks start to show, then she's like, like I said, he brings the drug. He brings the intoxication. But it's not as strong. It's not a pure cut of it, And that's what makes the guys select. Now, the guys who are non-select, the gamesmen and the nice guys, they just can't deliver that drug to them. Heck, they don't even know they can deliver it. Like, even if a woman deals with them, it's only because she can't get to the top two. But that's the key. It's that sexual thing. See, the thing is, a lot of men don't understand a woman's lust, her nature. These women want a stroke. A lot of guys fight that. Even every time I say that, they fight that. But these women want it. They want sex. They just want it from certain guys, and they want a good feeling from that sex. And if a man can deliver it, he actually in a powerful position. Because think of it like a negotiation. If you got something the other party wants, you can set your terms, or you can deal with it because you got something they want. So if women want that lust from you, she want that D from you, then you could say, well, you need to make me a plate. Or you need to wear your hair this way, or you need to wear these clothes. Or you need to come over at midnight when I call you, or at least have your door open when I come visit you. That's the key. And indeed, Mr. Goodbar understand that. That's why Mr. Goodbars don't chase. They don't even, choosing signals ain't even a big thing with them. The women throw it at them, because when women have that lust, they go out of character. They go out of character. It's like a drug. It's like when you see an alcoholic or somebody on those drugs, they go out of character. Whatever they doing, they showing different stuff. It's the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing. They're addicted. That's the important thing. So if a person want to talk about select and non-select, you got to talk about that romantic intoxication. You got to talk about that sex. Like I said, if the sex ain't in the conversation, it's not legitimate. It's a sexual hierarchy. That's why you have some dudes at the top of that sexual hierarchy. They, some of them actually have money. You actually do have some good bars with money. You actually got plenty. Like with a lot of money. but most of them might be just regular workers. And then you got a few who they just go from woman to woman, living off the woman. But that's halfway getting into the whole street gigolo thing. You know, that's halfway getting into the street gigolo thing. So that's it. You gotta deliver it. That's if you want to be that. If you want to be that, it's a sexual thing. And this ain't somebody who just heard the terms online. Like I said in the last video, been talking about this for 20 years. Been seeing it. Saw it before then, just didn't have a term before it. The men who ain't complaining about women, who got plenty of women, who got multiple women, knowingly. Let me say it again, knowingly. You know, got women, even though the guy could be married, women still gonna fuck his ass. It's the sexual thing. It's the addiction. You know, they gonna get on their knees. They will give that man a bullet. He don't even have to ask. They just gonna get on their knees. That's how bad they want it. Understand that. Boom. It's that intoxication. So if you gotta say anything about them, then they're my addicts. And you got a few. Yeah, you actually got a few who, for whatever reason, they can fight that addiction. But then these are usually women who aren't that attractive, and you know, select men. Well, good bars and especially masked men are extremely picky. They picky. So some women, they just never got any from it. They never got that sample, you know. They never got a sample. So anyway, that's all I got for today. I want y'all to think on what I'm saying. And if you're gonna talk about the select, non-select thing, you gotta talk about that sex. You gotta talk about that romantic intoxication. Like I said, they don't tap their arms like they do for heroin. They tapping those thighs. They want that hit. Indeed, anybody who's a long time listener, remember I used to start off, the music I used to start off my videos was Pusher Man. And it was a song, this woman singing a song about how this man basically had her turned out and she couldn't help herself. You know, because when women is turned out by a guy, he could do some wrong stuff. All he had to do is say he's sorry. Like that. Oh, I'm sorry, babe. You don't even have to be sincere. She's like, ooh. Eddie Murphy. Just one thing. Eddie Murphy, this is old. Eddie Murphy talked about that in his legendary comedy concert, Raw. I saw that live and I saw the movie. And he said, once that guy make her say, ooh, he got her. He knows it. Old school players know that. Indeed, like I said, if you listen to anybody, look, I'm gonna just say this. I don't care who gives a fuck. I don't care who gets mad. If you get somebody trying to tell you how to get women and they ain't talking about sex, don't even listen to them. I'm just gonna say that. And if I make some people angry, oh well. But that gotta be in the conversation. Because we gotta be raw with it. That's what women want. They want that D. They want somebody to deliver that D. Bad. Because they intoxicated. So anyway, I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.